I welcome you all to this course. The course is Plantain Farming, where we'll be teaching ourselves or discussing with one another how we can actually engage in plantain farming. However, this course has 10 modules. And this is the first module for this course, which implies that this is just like the introduction, where we'll be introducing ourselves to plantain farming. We'll be having 10 different modules, which implies that we'll also be having 10 different videos like this. So this is the first video for this course, and the topic we'll be treating in this module is introduction to plantain farming. Just like I have said initially, that we'll be introducing ourselves to what plantain farming is and the necessary things that we need to know that will serve as the background knowledge for us while taking this course. So now we have the module of the contents. In this module, learners will actually study the following subtopics. These are the main things that we'll be discussing in this module. We'll be looking at the meaning of farming. Then we'll also look at the meaning of planting. It is just two different words entirely, farming and planting. We'll look at it separately, then we'll actually know that after that we'll move on to the meaning and importance of plantain farming. Why do we think plantain farming is very essential? We'll do that. Then after that we'll look at the types and varieties of plantain, looking at the different types of plantains that we have. That's very essential, especially in this part of the country, Nigeria. So now the fifth subtopic that we'll be looking at is the nutritional and economic value of plantain. So we'll be looking at the value of plantain nutritionally and economically. And lastly, in this module, we'll be looking at the opportunities in commercial plantain farming. So these are the contents for this module. Now let's move on to the what do we refer to as plantain farming now. Plantain farming is one of the most important aspects of agriculture in many tropical countries, especially in Nigeria and other parts of West Africa. So agriculture has actually remained a major occupation for humans since ancient times. Agriculture has been in existence for a very, very long time because it provides food. It also provides employment, income, and raw materials for industries. Now, among the numerous crops cultivated in tropical regions, plantain stands out as a valuable food and cash crops due to its nutritional, economic, and industrial importance. Now, plantain belongs to the banana family, I believe you should all know that, and is scientifically known as Musa paradisiaca. And it is widely consumed because it serves as a major source of carbohydrates and can be prepared in different forms, such as we can prepare it as boiled plantain, roasted plantain, fried plantain, chips, flour, and porridge. So these are the different ways that we can actually prepare our plantain. Now let's look at the meaning of plantain now. That will serve as our introduction now. So let's look at the meaning of farming. Farming is the practice of growing crops and raising animals for food, raw materials, and income. So it is the work people do on farms to produce things such as yam, maize, rice, cassava, vegetable, cattle, goats, poultry, and fish, and so on and so forth. So that's farming. It's the process of growing crops and raising animals for food, for raw materials, and income generally. That's a layman definition of farming. Now, Otto Young describes farming as the cultivation of land for the production of crops and the rearing of animals for man's use. That's according to Otto. That farming has to do with the cultivation of land. We cultivate that to produce crops and also to rear animals for the purpose of the man's use. King explained farming as the management of land and living organisms for the purpose of producing food and useful materials. Now let's take it one after the other. Now, farming is one of the oldest occupations in the world. I believe we have mentioned that in our introduction, and we can unarguably accept that as a fact. And the farming is very essential for human survival. It is very important. It provides food, employment, raw materials for industries, and income for individuals and nations as a whole. So farming can be divided into two major branches. We have crop farming and animal farming. That's the main two major branches that we can actually categorize or classify or divide farming into: crop farming and animal farming. Crop farming has to do with growing of crops such as rice, maize, cassava, and plantain, and so on and so forth. So then animal farming, just as the name implies, it involves the rearing of animals such as cattle, sheep, goats, poultry, and fishes. And so now let's look at the meaning of plantain. we've addressed the meaning of farming now. Plantain now is a tropical food actually. So a plantain is a tropical food crop that belongs to the banana family and is scientifically known as Musa paradisaica. It is a starchy food that is mainly cultivated in tropical and subtropical regions of the world, especially in countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, India, and many parts of Latin America. Now, plantain grows on a large herbaceous plant with broad green leaves and a soft stem known as pseudostem. Now, the fruit contains in a cluster called bunches, and each bunch contains several fingers of plantain, just like we used to say a bunch of plantain. So, on this bunch, we contain several fingers of plantain around it, and it grows on a stem, on a soft stem known as pseudostem. Now, plantain is rich in essential nutrients such as carbohydrates, dietary fiber, potassium, magnesium, and vitamins A, B6, and C. So these nutrients they provide energy, aid digestion, they strengthen the immune system, and also support healthy body functioning. Sorry. And now, because of its high carbohydrate content, plantain actually serves as a major energy-giving food and is often included in daily meals in many African homes. We can use it. You can either fry plantain, they can boil it, it can be roasted, and so on and so forth. Now it has been serving as a food in many African homes. Now many people earn a living through the cultivation, transportation, and marketing and processing of plantain into products. Many people, that's their means of survival. Some use it for business, so they use as to people to produce plantain chips, to produce flour, to produce to roasted plantain, and even porridge. Now let's look at the meaning and importance of plantain farming now. Now, plantain farming now is the cultivation of plantain crops for food, income generation, and industrial use. It is the cultivation of plantain crops. We've defined plantain and we've also defined farming. Now, let's merge it together. It is the cultivation of plantain crops for food, income generation, and industrial use. Now, plantain is a starchy fruit that belongs to the banana family, as we have said initially, and is widely known as widely grown in tropical regions, especially in many parts of Nigeria, West Africa. Now, unlike desert bananas, plantains are usually cooked. You understand? We have bananas also that we can actually just eat freshly like that without being cooked or being prepared. No, plantain on the other hand is different from that. They are usually cooked before eating. So that's the difference, and it serves as a major source of carbohydrates for millions of people. Plantain farming therefore involves several activities such as land preparation, sucker selection, planting, weeding, fertilization, pest and disease control, and harvesting, and all. These are the processes or activities that are involved in plantain farming. The crop thrives best in fertile, well-drained soil with adequate rainfall and warm temperatures. The importance of plantain farming cannot be overemphasized because it contributes greatly to food security. That's one of the importance of plantain farming: food, nutrition, employment. So because people have largely engaged in plantain farming, so that they even to the extent that they even employ people across they employ people to help them in farming and monitor their plantain plant their plantain for them till they harvest it and sell. So those people will be paid and be given food as their own stipends and all. So this is why we say it has also been able to contribute to the employment purpose and also the economic development. Plantain actually contains essential nutrients such as vitamin A, B6, and C, potassium, magnesium, and dietary fiber, making it highly beneficial for human health. That's another importance of plantain. Plantain actually, it's beneficial for human health. Now let's look at the overview of plantain industry in Nigeria. We are mainly talking about plantain farming. So now let's take in the overview of the industry in Nigeria now. In Nigeria, it is one of the most important sectors of the country's agricultural economy. Plantain is a major staple food consumed by millions of Nigeria and is widely cultivated in the southern and middle belt regions of the country. Now, the production of plantain in Nigeria is concentrated in states. So you can actually see it in states like Ogun State, Ondo State, Osun State, Edo State, Delta State, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, and Bayelsa State, because these areas they have fertile soils, high rainfall, and favorable climatic conditions for plantain cultivation. We can actually say plantain farming is not that common. I think we barely see that in the north because of their the land, the soil, and the climate condition there compared to the south and the eastern part. Now, and eastern part of Nigeria. The crops grow well in humid tropical environments and can be harvested throughout the year, making it an important source of regular income for farmers. Plantain is consumed in different forms, included boiled plantain, roasted, just like we have been saying over and over again. Now let's look at still an overview of plantain industry in Nigeria. The plantain industry, they actually contribute significantly to the Nigerian economy by creating employment opportunities in farming, in transportation, in processing, in marketing and exportation. Women are particularly active in the marketing and processing sectors of the industry, while men dominate production activities mainly. So the industry also supports agro-processing business that produce plantain, flour, chips, and other valuable or value-added products for local consumption and export markets. Now let's look at the types of plantain that we have actually. We have the first on plantain, we have the on plantain, we have the French plantain. Now the first on plantain, it produces large bunches with medium-sized fruits. We have large bunches with medium-sized fruits. The fruits are not as curved as on plantains. They are not as covered as on plantains and usually have several hands in a bunch. So this type is widely cultivated because it actually gives high yield and matures relatively early. Now all plantain on the other hand, they are characterized by very large and long fruits with few fingers per bunch. And I also believe this is the one that we actually use to fry that is mostly common in the Nigerian part to fry plantain. Now the fruits are thick and highly starchy. This type is popularly known in many of southern Nigeria, just like I've mentioned, because of its large fruit size and good market value. On plantains are mainly used for roasting, for frying and flour production. Now French plantains, they have many small fruits arranged in large bunches. The fruits are usually slender and shorter than on varieties. Now let's look at the common varieties of plantain that we have. We have just like the Yoruba, we used to call it Agbagba, and this has become a name that it is not limited to the Yoruba again. People are now using it in Nigeria, across Nigeria. So Agbagba plantain is a variety of plantain that is one of the most popular plantain varieties in Nigeria. It belongs to the first on type and is known for its large bunches and high productivity. The fruits are medium to large in size and suitable for boiling, for frying and roasting. Now we have Orishele, which is another important plantain variety grown in West Africa. It produces strong plants and good quality fruits. Also, we have the Conwan. Conwan is a on-type plantain variety with very large fruits. It is commonly grown for commercial purpose because of its attractive fruit size and high market demand. We also have the Pita varieties. These are improved they are improved hybrid plantains developed by Agricultural Research Institute to resist disease and increase yield. Example include PITA 14, PITA 17, and 24. So these varieties, they actually mature faster and produce better yields than many local varieties. Now let's look at the nutritional value of plantain now. Plantain actually contains several nutrients that are important for human growth, energy production, and overall health. We also have one of the nutritional value of plantain is rich source of carbohydrates, in the sense that plantain contains a high amount of carbohydrates, mainly starch, which provide energy for the body. This makes it an important staple food for people who need energy for daily activities. Another nutritional value of plantain is serves as source of vitamins. Actually, plantain contains important vitamins such as vitamin A, which actually help vitamin A that actually helps maintain healthy eyesight and supports the immune system. Also, vitamin B6, which aids brain development and proper metabolism. Also, vitamin C, that helps protect the body against infection and supports wound healing. So we also have another nutritional value of plantain is dietary fiber. In the sense that plantain they contains fiber and in this sense they improve digestion, prevents constipation and supports healthy bowel movement. Now let's look at the economic value of plantain. We have been saying it over and over and again. It serves as a source of income for people, for farmers, employment opportunities, raw materials for industries, contribution to food security, exports and foreign exchanges are the economic value of plantain. Source of income in the sense that farmers can easily earn money from the cultivation and sale of plantain food, which is very common. Traders will come and buy, transporters and even food vendors, they also benefit financially from plantain businesses. Will come and buy from farmers, go and resell it to food vendors and so on and so forth. Some people might even buy when they want to provide cook at home. They buy from on the street. They buy from the retailers and all, whereby the farmers also the retailers, they buy from the farmers. So this serve as a source of income and a business avenue for most people, for farmers essentially. Now, employment is also it's also give employment opportunities in the sense that it creates jobs in farming, harvesting, and transportation. When you are farming, people, when it's not just a what a person can actually. You have to employ people to help you in the farming. When you are done farming, in harvesting, people will still come and work for you in harvesting. So these people that are working in serve as an employment opportunities for them. And doing transportation, you have to hire someone to come and transport your goods for you, maybe from your farm to the city. So this is, and the driver and all that will be rendering the service of transportation. You are also employing them in one way or the other. So now raw materials, it also serve as raw materials for industries. It is plantain is actually produced into several products such as plantain chips, plantain flour, roasted plantain, plantain porridge, pastries and snacks and all. So this is definitely a raw material for industries that are producing, let's take plantain chips for instance. Now they will need to that's their main raw material, so they will need to get it from you. So this is also one of the economic value of plantain. Contribution to food security. Plantain is actually available throughout the year and provides food for millions of people. Its availability helps reduce hunger and malnutrition. Export and foreign exchange, that's another economic value of plantain. Processed plantain products can be exported to international markets, generating foreign exchange for the country. Now, opportunities in commercial plantain farming. Now, we have high market demand as one of the opportunities. It also serves as the source of steady income, employment generation, and we also have export opportunities. These are different opportunities in commercial plantain farming. High market demand. Let's take high market demand as an example. Plantain is widely consumed by people of different age, so age groups in many forms such as boiled plantain and all, fried plantain, which is commonly known as dodo, chips, porridge and all. This constant demand for plantain in homes, restaurants, hotels, and fast food outlets, which creates a ready market for commercial farmers. Just so you know, so that's how important plantain is. It's not just limited to a particular sector. It can be people from at home can demand for it. Restaurants, they demand for it. Even hotels and fast food outlets, and it's also we can also export it. So this is why plantain has high market demand. It serves as a source of steady income in the sense that commercial plantain farming provides regular income because plantain can be harvested throughout the year. It's not seasonal. Employment generation, it creates job opportunity for many people. And the export opportunity, there is growing international demand for fresh and processed plantain products, especially among Africans living abroad. So this is why it is very essential. Now, in conclusion, plantain farming is a vital agricultural activity that plays an important role in food production, nutrition, employment creation, and economic development. So, farming generally involves the cultivation of crops and the rearing of animals for human use, while plantain farming specifically focuses on the production and management of plantain as a major food and cash crop. Plantain has become highly important in tropical regions because of its ability to provide food, income, industrial raw materials